This is the Euro Yen. We're on the 15 and we're in trend continuation, and we have a first chance entry that's set up. So that is a double bottom within the outside return wicks. Now let's go ahead here and do the high time frame analysis. Let's go to the dailies for this. Okay, so here on the dailies, what we have done is we worked our way up. We saw a small pullback, and then really we've just been making our way up. Now, where could we potentially go to? Well, we could go to this area just here. Test, test. One thing to bear in mind is that we have just tested that area right there. So as a minimum, we can look for a retest of the highs, or we can look for a little bit of an extension up to this level here potentially, which is also the 12800 psychological number. And if we just zoom out a little bit, we do have three areas there of structure, and if we know anything about structure, typically the higher level is tested, and so I'm looking at the market potentially coming higher here. So let's go out to the 240, and we've got some nice, well, some fairly nice ebbs and flows here. If you look at what the market did, we came up, we came back for a retest, we went higher, we pulled back, we went higher, we pulled back, we went higher, but there is no structure level here, so we do have to drop a time frame lower to find a structure level, and the one that your eyes should be drawn to is this outside return right here. Now what we've seen is the RSI go oversold, so the market is running out of steam, and look, after the rally lower, we've got the candles starting to go smaller, but this candle hasn't closed yet, so not too much of an indication here. Now if we highlight just the wicks, we can then look for the first chance entry, and when we're trending, particularly when we're trending quite nicely, quite directionally, then we tend to see shallow pullbacks, and those shallow pullbacks tend to come just within the wicks. So we're allowed then to drop one time frame lower and look for a double bottom, and right here within the wicks you can see it's highlighted here. We first of all need the RSI confirmation, so we went oversold at 9 with divergence. We've had two tests, we've got space in the middle, and we've got a nice directional run as well, setting up for a very nice double bottom here entry. Stops going ATR below the low, and targets then we're playing for a retest of the highs and secondary targets. Now I'm not playing for a retest of on the highs based on the 15, I'm doing that based on the 240. I like to use the higher time frame closes of the candles because they have a higher probability of being hit, and if you look here you can clearly see that first target there is playing for a retest of the highs, but the closes of the candles. Secondary targets then, position these properly. Now we're going to be, I'm going to be 14 pips before that psychological number, and we're on that trend line that we put on for the daily structure level as well. So let's just go back to the 15 and we can work out what the reward to risk here, and as you can see it's pretty amazing at the moment, and that's because we're using a conservative entry, double bottom. Of course if it loses it's going to be a very small amount of risk, so let's make that a red for risk. We then want first targets, which we know are the closes of the 4 hourly candles. We're going to make those green, and then secondary targets we're going to be playing for just before that psychological number and that daily structure level. Okay, that one's yellow. So 12 pips of risk, 44 of reward, and 100 pips to target twos. A very nice risk to reward. Not often you see something like this, but when you do get the entry signal and it's high probability, you're going to want to take it. We're back, and as you can see now, the market has rallied down to stop me out for minus 12 pips on that first chance entry.